If I am an organization, if I am a company and I have something to say, I want something to be known to the public, I will issue a press release. Reporters are the basic mode of gathering news for any news organization. Now, whenever our Prime Minister speaks on radio, on TV, on his Facebook Live, there is a huge surge of media attention that is given to that particular speech. Majority of the video footage and the photos that you will have seen of certain issues will be that which people have clicked. Hello everyone and welcome to a new session of reporting, the third semester subject of your journalism course. I am Zubin Paul. I'm your journalism faculty from Vidyashram First Grade College, the Temple of Excellence. Today we are going to be dealing with a very important topic which is a must and should for every journalist to know, that is the sources of news. Now, what are the sources of news and what are we going to deal with in today's session? It's going to be very simple. I need you to understand every single point because these can be a complete game changer in terms of you being a journalist. So the first one we'll be dealing with is reporters. The second is news agencies, press releases and notes, press conferences, speeches, stringers, letters to the editor, the internet, and another add-on concept that is called armchair journalism. Now, these terms may be quite familiar with you through your daily life, but we are going to be dealing with them in detail one by one. So the next and the first concept is reporters. Let's see what they do. They gather news for a particular news organization by whom they are employed. Again, they gather news for a particular news organization by whom they are employed. So, reporters are the basic mode of gathering news for any news organization because they will be employed by that particular organization to gather news on their behalf. They physically go on rounds for collecting news. Very simple. They are the basis of an organization's fresh news inflow. Fresh news inflow. Every day, reporters from the organization are sent out and told to gather news and come back. So it is a very everyday kind of activity that they have. It's a routine work for them, and that is what they are employed to do. They are employed to gather news on a daily basis, fresh news every day. They collect essential information of a story, consolidate it, write it as a report, and submit it to their higher-ups for further evaluation. This is the basic procedure. They collect it and they submit it to their higher-ups so that there is a verification, a kind of verification, and also a kind of standard, a format that is maintained when writing the particular report. Definitely, it needs to be checked. So, reporters are one of the key source of news for any news organization. Next, news agencies. Let us know what news agencies are. An organization which gathers news and sells it to news organizations on subscription basis. I hope you are able to understand. News agency is an organization itself. It gathers news and it sells to other news organizations on a subscription basis. For example, I am a news agency and you are a news organization. For example, take any news channel for example. You can be Times Now, you can be this, you can be that, you can be NDTV. So I, as the news agency, I will gather news and sell it to you on a subscription basis. You have to pay me for that news. And why will you pay me? Who am I? You already have reporters in your own organization, right? But why will you pay me? You will pay me for authentic news. News organizations always look to news agencies for authentic news. That is the key importance of news agencies. They are always reliable in that sense. Few of the news agencies in the world are Reuters, United Press International, Associated Press, etc., etc. You can just Google, you will get tons and tons of information about this, but Reuters, UPI, and Associated Press. There are also a few more which are important, but these are like the key players in terms of being the most credible news agencies in the world. They provide most clear facts and unbiased reports. That is the sole reason why news agencies are preferred. News agencies themselves have reporters. They have a lot of people who work and gather news. But everything circles down to this word, authenticity. So news agencies are very authentic sources of news. They are mostly and most probably only available to news organizations. Now recently the trends have been changing, wherein news agencies themselves have started becoming more accessible to general public. So that is how news agencies are, getting to be known by people. You will have heard this name Reuters, Thomson Reuters, a lot of places. You can apply. It's a very good opportunity for you as an occupation to work at Reuters, to work at these kind of news agencies, because then the way people look at you is completely different, that you're working for a news agency. So you can keep this in mind and try to develop your skills accordingly. The next one is called press release. This is a very, very basic form of news gathering. It is just information gathering, if I may say so. Press releases are statements by a company which have an announcement for the media to publish. If I am an organization, if I am a company and I have something to say, I want something to be known to the public, I will issue a press release. These are well structured, detailed write-ups, of new information by a company regarding its internal functions and operations. This is again a very voluntary kind of reporting from the organization / company itself. The company will want to put out certain news for the public, hence it issues a press release. Press releases are given to sub-editors who then take decisions of what is relevant to the audience and what is not. What this means is, as a company, to you everything you do is important. But there are only certain points, certain key points that may be important to the public. Now, who decides what these points are? It is the sub-editors. Sub-editor is a role in a news organization which we'll be dealing with later on. Just for your understanding now, sub-editor is a person who filters out the news and also who verifies the news and who decides, who is very key in deciding what must go into the paper. Now, these press releases will come as a very detailed document, and that must be gone through in order to understand what is important for the public. Only those kind of important issues will be picked up from that particular press release. A headline will be created, a lead, body, everything will be structured and they will release it. It is not always necessary that the press release as is will be published. There definitely will be some editing in order to create that kind of a relevance for the public. So press releases are again a very important source of information for any kind of news organization. Next, a press note. A press release and a press note are very much confused in today's time. Since always, every student has this doubt. But you have to be very, very clear in understanding what is a press note and what is a press release. They are pretty much the same thing. Honestly, they are pretty much the same thing, but the only difference is that a press note is a statement given by government organizations to the press for publicizing and broadcasting. Majorly, press notes are given out by governmental bodies. That is how we differentiate between a press release and a press note. That is basic difference between both of them. It is mostly used for clarifying government related issues and topics. Now there will be certain things which are in a big dilemma in terms of what the public gets an information about, especially in terms of what government is doing. So in these small issues wherein clarity is to be provided from the government's end, they will issue a press note. It is a very well structured statement, written / typed statement, which is sent to these news organizations, and it is the most authentic form of information for them. Why would that be? Because the organization itself is providing that news. That is an official statement. Hence, press notes which are from the government and press releases which may be from any company are two very important and authentic sources of information. Next, we come to press conferences. As the word suggests, let us see what it means. A meeting. It's a meeting wherein a personality or company representative would make an official statement and answer journalists' queries as well. Now this you will have seen in multiple TV channels wherein important people are answering questions to journalists or they are making a particular statement. All those come under press conferences. Simple. And these again are very credible sources of information. Why? Because you are hearing a company representative. It may be the head of the company or the PRO or a particular representative giving a statement on behalf of the company, an official statement. So it can't get more credible than that. Listening to whatever he's saying, he or she is saying on the spot. And also that is an opportunity for journalists. Journalists never miss out on important press conferences, because if there is a burning issue that is revolving around the press conference or around the company, that is an opportunity for the journalist to directly question the company. And that can lead to a huge headline or a very nice story for the paper or a very nice string of stories. One statement that is made by any one of the officials can be a huge lead to a huge story. So that is why journalists never miss out on press conferences. This is a physical interaction with the reporters and is one of the most credible sources of news, as I have just explained. News organizations will be informed via phone call regarding such conferences and a reporter will be sent to the event. Yeah, it may be phone call, WhatsApp, whatever now in today's time, but typically this is the procedure that is followed. The company itself or the PRO or the public relations department of the company will inform particular news organizations about this particular press conference that is going to be held. The time, the venue, the date, everything will be mentioned. And then it is the job of the organization to send their reporters to gather as much news. In this scenario also, the organization will tell the reporters what issues to focus on. Of course, they will tell them to give a credible, authentic statement of whatever has happened there. But also, the organization will stress or will tell the reporters to focus on certain issues whenever they go or whenever they are given a chance to ask questions to the company representative. So that is the importance of press conferences. I hope it's clear to you all. The next one is speeches. Now, why are speeches important? You may feel, how can we get news from speeches? Let me make it very clear to you. You will get to know why. Speeches provide insights into the speaker's opinions on certain issues or topics. These may be of interest to the public as they would like to know the opinion of certain experts or maybe people in power. Now, whenever our Prime Minister speaks on radio, on TV, on his Facebook Live, there is a huge surge of media attention that is given to that particular speech or that talk. Why is that? That is solely because there always will be a chance of getting a headline there. To put it very simplistically, there is also a chance, more probably, that you will come across an important information that is given by the Prime Minister himself directly, which is definitely going to impact every citizen in this nation. Also, people from the news and also general public, in case of a certain issue that is happening in the country, may be looking for an opinion from the Prime Minister of the country. Now, whether or not he gives his opinion or how he structures the speech is secondary at the moment. But there is always a chance of getting very good news leads from speeches. That is why speeches always have to be considered as a news source. And of course, I'm not just talking about the Prime Minister. There can be n number of experts from different fields. It's up to you. It's up to the organization also, which person they want to cover. And whatever the person says, even if there is a 2-hour speech, the news organization or the news reporter has to always check what is relevant to the public, what the public will be interested in knowing, what makes a difference to the public. That is what will create, and that is what will give you an opportunity to provide very fair, very good quality of news. Why good quality I am saying is because it is directly a person's opinion that you are stating. Now that can lead to a huge discussion altogether. That one statement which is given, it can lead to a huge discussion. But you as the journalist have to be responsible enough to know whether this incites negativity or positivity. See, there is a huge thought process that goes behind reporting whatever is said in speeches. So we will discuss later on, as well as time progresses, how important it is to gauge what you feel is beneficial to the society from what someone says. I hope I'm making myself very clear here. Speeches are a great source of ideas for discussions. Of course, just for example, when we had our Prime Minister speak at Madison Square Garden, that whole speech was covered by the media, and that led to a double the amount of time wala discussion on news channels itself about what that moment holds, what importance that moment holds, what significance it holds, what the Prime Minister said, how people reacted. All of this leads to another totally different discussion, a debate, a forum, things can happen that way. So speeches are to be always given importance. Next, a very important and interesting source of news, that is stringers. To be very simplistic in approach, stringers are freelance reporters. Aaj ka zamana is full freelance zamana. So many people, I'm a freelance editor, I'm a freelance photographer, I'm a freelance this, I'm a freelance that, I'm a freelance content writer. Similarly, there are freelance reporters as well. What they do, they report only when they receive valid news. Very simple. Think of yourself as a freelance reporter. Now, you as a journalist will get to know certain news. Just imagine the scenario. You get to know certain news from somewhere. Now, you have the power whether you want to approach a certain organization, it may be X organization or Y organization or Z organization. It is in your hands which organization you want to approach. That is the first thing. Second thing is that from the perspective of the organization, there always will be scope to get unheard news, unseen news, unusual news. And those kind of news items always come from unusual places or unusual people or from unusual circumstances. I'm adding an or everywhere. It is not and. So be very careful about this. That is why when stringers come along, they bring that kind of news. And automatically as a news organization, you will start thinking that this particular news is very important because this person has come with so much of an interest. And also there is the added advantage of being a reliable stringer. If you have constantly given good news over a period of time to that particular organization, they will always trust your news reporting skills. So that is also a very viable source of news. But again, stringers always have to be verified. The news that they bring has to be verified. That is the only catch in terms of stringers. From the organization's perspective, of course, you can be a stringer, but you have to develop that kind of a trust, that kind of a bond with the organization so that they depend on you for the kind of news that you are supplying. You will always have a niche, and you can develop that kind of a niche as and when you proceed further with your journalistic practice. So that is stringers. They are paid only on the basis of per story count. Very simple, very logical. They help in getting inside news. Definitely this is a valid point, because as soon as someone says that I am from this news channel, I am from that news channel, people start hesitating to give out news. Majority of the people hesitate in front of news reporters. So that is why stringers act as normal people and try to get inside news which may or may not be disclosed to the employed reporters of that particular news channel or the newspaper. So that in that case, they become very, very important to get inside news, and inside news leads to what? Very good stories. So stringers are again a very important source of news. The next, letters to the editor. Now, you will have seen in a lot of newspapers, there is this whole section for letters to the editor. We may be thinking that people are just complaining, but no. From the organization's perspective, again, think as a journalist. Think as a journalist. When they are writing that letter to the organization or to the editor of the organization, what they are doing is they are expressing their concern about an issue. Now, an issue is always important to a reporter, whatever it may be. So that complaint basically becomes an important key for a story thread for the reporters to investigate. This is one perspective. Another perspective is when people publish letters to the editor in their newspaper, they are basically, again, from the audience point of view. Why do we write letters to the editor? So that we feel that the issue is addressed by the concerned authority. And to get that done, that particular newspaper is very important for us. For example, in Mysore, there is a newspaper called Star of Mysore. There is a regular letters to the editor column in that. That is because it is one of the widely read newspaper in Mysore, the Evening Daily. Now, definitely people from the organization will think that people who are the concerned authorities about certain water problems or certain sewage problems or certain garbage disposal or something that has happened in their locality will be reported in the letter, and people can get to know that through these letters is what can be put forward. So yeah, let us see in detail. Letters written to the editor of the news organization about pressing issues that the public are facing, as I have explained, written by the citizens or readers of that particular newspaper and are published in the newspaper as well. Now, like this, they'll be getting huge number of letters every day. But which to publish? That is always decided by the editor and his team. Because every issue cannot be addressed in the newspaper. Then you will have to have a separate newspaper called letters to the editor. But that is not possible. So the editor's team and himself or herself will pick certain issues which are important for that time to be resolved at that time. And also just think, for example, if we get a letter regarding certain sanitary issues, cleanliness issues in and around the area, by addressing the complaint of one person, you are making a lot of other people aware of the problem that lies around their area as well. So people start getting aware, oh yeah, this is the problem that even we are facing, we need to take action regarding this. So that is also a means of generating awareness for the people. That one thing has to be kept in mind when you are choosing which letters you can put in that column, letters to the editor. They highlight the local news and seek to gain attention from the concerned authorities, as I have already explained. Citizen journalists come into play. Now this term citizen journalists has come into huge importance in today's time, because everyone has their phones with them. Everyone has access to a lot of things on the internet. So basically, with a phone and an internet connection, you are yourself a journalist. For example, if you have the contact of any particular news organization or even your Facebook and Instagram handle, immediately you can just take the video or photo of something very bad happening or a particular event and post it, and that it becomes news to your followers. And who knows, if it is a really pressing issue, news organizations may pick up that story, may pick up that video, may pick up that reel. There's a lot of possibility for that, because even in today's times, if you have noticed and seen in news channels, majority of the video footage and the photos that you will have seen of certain issues will be that which people have clicked. Because of course, if you are there, you can't wait for your reporter to get there and click photos and videos and get it back to you. So that is why people themselves become journalists, citizen journalists. We'll be dealing with this later on in a lot of sessions. So then comes the internet. This is very simple because the internet has become an information source for everyone. So we can just breeze through this one. Internet and social media provide a plethora of information at any given point of time. This is very important. At any given point of time, you can get news from the internet. The news will always be there. Whereas in TV channels and in newspapers, you always have to wait for the next edition or wait for that particular news show to come up. But on the internet, it's not like that. You are just one click away, one tap away from all kind of news across the globe. The most timely news stories are available on the internet. Timely. Keyword. Timely. Whatever happens, you can update, you can get updated within half a second, half a minute also. You know, it's very, very fast. Today's time is very fast. So it's a very, very timely source of news. But credibility of the internet news is always questionable. Now, anyone can spread rumors on the internet. In today's WhatsApp times, that has become a big bane. Our parents, our grandparents are all who are using WhatsApp. They think anything and everything that is forwarded is credible and it is true. That is not the case. We need to educate people regarding this. So, we need to also stay educated regarding what are the different platforms which provide quality and accurate and credible news. There are a lot of online portals which provide these. Even your own newspaper organizations have their online portals which will provide these kind of information. So you don't have to always rely on WhatsApp forwards or Facebook or Instagram. Just Google your favorite news channel or your favorite newspaper and you will get a lot of information on their online portal itself. There are also a lot of other online portals which are available. You just have to Google and you will find them. Various online portals available provide crisp and firm news, yet some provide otherwise. There is always a two-face to this. When I say crisp and firm news, there is one small app called InShorts which gives you news in 60 words or something like that. Similarly, that is a micro consumption of news. So it's up to the person, however they want to consume it. But there are these kind of portals which provide these kind of small, shorts, InShorts, the news. And these kind of news applications themselves still are not 100% credible. but are preferred in a lot of people in today's times. Next, and the last one, when we talk about the sources of news, it may appear funny to you when I explain this, but it is happening in today's time and it cannot be avoided. This is called armchair journalism. Let us read through, you will understand. Collecting news from various other news organizations themselves. Wait, sir. You said news organizations collect from news agencies. News agencies are also organizations. Right, correct. But let us know what I mean by armchair journalism. Monitoring news stories on multiple channels simultaneously. Why it is called armchair journalism is because basically you are sitting there watching all kinds of news channels, different monitors, and you are gathering news from all of them. That is all you are doing. If you are doing that, then you are doing armchair journalism. Definitely it may seem funny, it may seem like you're leeching onto other people's work, but in today's time it is happening. It is a very prominent and prevalent kind of practice in today's journalistic world. Gathering news, what is it? It is gathering news by just sitting on the armchair. This is a term that has come up just metaphorically. And copying / leeching on other news organizations' stories. It's quite clear. Smaller news channels tend to do so. They tend to do so. Not every news channel does this, but they tend to do so. And you have to understand situations as well. It is not like they do it on purpose and they want to, just gain profit by not doing anything. Sometimes when certain news is out of our reach, when certain news reporting cannot be done on field by our own reporters, that is when we depend on such kind of practices. For example, a local news channel may not be able to immediately run to Mumbai or Delhi to cover a major, national issue. But they will rely on national channels to provide them certain key information regarding this. Then they will start digging up by their own research, they will start digging up more information regarding it. But on the flip side as well, there are people who do this just for the sake of, getting content. And that is a very bad thing to happen in a journalistic field. So you as a journalist have to always see to it that your sources are very credible and that you are clear in your conscience and in your work ethic. This is also done in order to pick up unheard incidents. Now, as I said, not every time it is bad. It is sometimes used to pick up unheard stories wherein you will not have access physically to a certain place. So that time you can just get a lead. Now, for example, we being in India, we get to know about news that happens abroad. How do we get to know? Not our newspapers, not our news channels, but their news channels are the ones who are reporting it. And then in turn, we get to know because they have reported, because they have published a story. So not all the time this is bad, but it has to be used very ethically in order to, get a string of what is happening around. In that sense, everyone is, gathering news from each other. But armchair journalism is the height of not doing anything yet getting news. This is just an add-on concept, as I have said, because you need to be aware that this happens in today's time. And it is up to you how you gather news from other news channels or news organizations as well, Again, there are on the flip side, there is, for example, DD News, wherein they give very authentic news regarding to the government, and other news channels, by giving courtesy. You may have seen this in the corner of the screen. They say courtesy, etc., and then they put DD or whatever it is. If they have taken it from another channel, they will always put this word called courtesy. That is a very good ethical practice to notice, because you are giving credits to the people who have actually gone and done the field work and got that news for you. So this is a very good way of doing armchair journalism. But again, as a faculty, as a teacher of journalism, I would highly recommend against it. and also be very, very ethical in terms of using such practices only in crisis times. Only in crisis times. And you as a journalist yourself will get to know when I have to hold back and do my bit as a responsible journalist. That has to be the whole crux of the entire concept of your journalistic journey. Now that was the last of your news sources. So again, let us just recap whatever the sources of news are. Reporters, press conferences, press releases, press notes, stringers, news agencies, letters to the editor, and of course armchair journalists. Now these are the kind of sources of news that you will come across in your entire journalistic journey. Next session we will deal with a much more interesting topic that's coming soon. So till then, take care, stay safe. Hope you liked this session. Rewatch it if you have not understood anything. Here to help you out. So stay in touch and stay safe. Thank you and have a nice day.